Everything begins with an idea. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway. A great attitude does much more than turn on the lights in our worlds. It seems to magically connect us to all sorts of serendipitous opportunities that were somehow absent before the change. When you judge others, you do not define them. You define yourself. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Learn to enjoy every minute of your life. Be happy right now. Our environment, the world in which we live and work, is a mirror of our attitudes and expectations. You are now, and you do become what it is that you think about. Again, everything begins with an idea. The key that unlocks energy is desire. It's also the key to a long and interesting life. If we expect to create any drive, any real force within ourselves, we have to get excited. The biggest mistake that you can make is to believe that you are working for somebody else. Perverse is another word for faith. Problems are challenges to creative minds. Without problems, there would be little reason to think at all. We are at our very best, and we are happiest when we are fully engaged in work we enjoy on the journey toward the goal we've established for ourselves. It gives meaning to our time off and comfort to our sleep. It makes everything else in life so wonderful, so worthwhile. Everything that's really worthwhile in life comes to us free. Our mind, our soul, our body, our hopes, our dreams, our ambitions, our intelligence, our love of family and children and friends. All these priceless possessions are free. But the things that cost us money are actually very cheap and can be replaced at any time. The opposite of courage in our modern society is not cowardice. It is conformity. You are, at this moment, standing right in the middle of your own acres of diamonds. We all walk in the dark, and each of us must learn to turn on his or her own light. We've put the fuel in before we can expect heat. Likewise, we've got to be of service first before we can expect money. Don't concern yourself with the money. Be of service. Build, work, dream, create. Do this and you'll find that there is no limit to the prosperity and abundance that will come to you. To give oneself is the only way of becoming oneself. Each of us must live off the fruit of his thoughts in the future, because what you think today and tomorrow, next month and the next year, you will mold your life and determine your future. You are guided by your mind. A person who does not read is no better than one who cannot read. You can measure opportunity with the same yardstick that measures the risk involved. They go together. I'm grateful for the opportunity to live on this beautiful and astonishing planet Earth. In the morning, I wake up with a sense of gratitude. A person who does not read is no better than one who cannot read. Men, credited with all kinds of ability, talent, brains, and know-how, including the ability to see into the future, frequently have nothing more than the courage to keep everlastingly at what they set out to do. They have that one great quality that is worth more than all the rest put together. They simply will not give up. When a man makes up his mind to do something, then it's only a matter of time. Staying with time takes bulldog persistence. This seems to be the entrance examination to success, lasting success of any kind. Even if our home burns down, we can rebuild it. But the things that we got for nothing, we can never replace. A good deal of frustration and unhappiness could be avoided if people would just do what they know they should do. Successful people are not without problems. They're simply people who've learned to solve their problems. Work never killed anyone. It's worry that does the damage, and the worry would disappear if we just settle down and do the work. The more intensely we feel about an idea or goal, the more assuredly the idea, buried deep in our subconscious, will direct us along the path to its fulfillment. There is a time when one must decide either to risk everything to fulfill one's dream or to sit for the rest of one's life in the backyard. But most people live a life of quiet mediocrity and never achieve the success they truly desire because they get impatient. They want easy success or none at all. They see the path to success as a frustration, an impediment. Each day spent short of the ultimate goal is viewed as a time of failure and as an annoyance. As such, they get distracted by hundreds of little things that each day try to get us off of our course. Yet the successful among us know the truth. Life should be an exciting adventure. It should never be a bore. A man should live fully, be alive. He should be glad to get out of bed in the morning. He should be doing a job that he likes to do because he does it well. If your opportunity comes and you are not prepared for it, it will only make you look foolish. It is not what happens to you in life that makes the difference. It is how you react to each circumstance you encounter that determines that result. Every human being in the same situation has the possibilities of choosing how he will react, either positively or negatively. When a man is pushed, tormented, defeated, he has a chance to learn something. A success is anyone who is doing deliberately a worthy, predetermined job because that's what he decided to do deliberately. We will receive not what we idly wish for, but what we justly earn. Our rewards will always be in exact proportion to our service. Ideas are worthless unless we act on them. We come to a rather strange fact. We tend to minimize the things we can do, the goals we can achieve, and yet, for an equally strange reason, we think others can do things that we cannot. I want you to know that that is not true. You do have deep reservoirs of talent and ability within you, and you can have the things that you want. We live by faith, or we do not live at all. Either we venture or we vegetate. If we venture, we do so by faith, simply because we cannot know the end of anything at its beginning. We risk marriage on faith, or we stay single. We prepare for a profession by faith, or we give up before we start. By faith, we move mountains of opposition, or we are stopped by a molehill. A success is the school teacher who is teaching because that's what she wants to do. All you have to do is know where you're going. The answers will come to you of their own accord. Do each day all that can be done. You don't need to overwork or to rush blindly into your work, trying to do the greatest possible number of things in the shortest possible time. Creativity is a natural extension of our enthusiasm. Everything comes if a man would only wait. I have brought myself by long meditation to the conviction that a human being with a settled purpose must accomplish it, and that nothing can resist a will that will stake even existence for its fulfillment. All you need is the plan, the roadmap, and the courage to press on to your destination. Start your day with a healthy laughter. There is no success without suffering. I think that the word suffering was meant to mean tremendous effort and direction. Nothing great was ever accomplished without inspiration. Do you know why people don't automatically turn their own vast mental resources on when faced with a problem? It's because they never learn how to think. Most people will go to any length to avoid thinking when they're faced with a problem. They will ask advice from the most illogical people, usually people who don't know any more than they do. Next door neighbors, members of their families, and friends stuck in the same mental traps that they are. Very few of them use the muscles of their own mind to solve their problems. It is in the expectations of happiness that much of happiness is found, and it takes courage to expect happiness. Get into a line that you will find to be a deep personal interest, something you really enjoy spending 12 to 15 hours a day working at, and the rest of the time thinking about. Your problem is to bridge the gap which exists between where you are now and the goal you intend to reach. Throughout all history, the great wise men and teachers, philosophers and prophets have disagreed with one another on many different things. It is only on this one point that they are all in complete and unanimous agreement. We become what we think about.
My friends, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain a little. Number one, it's free. Two, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you've ever been looking for to make a podcast in one place. Go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Accidents happen, but that doesn't have to put you on the bench. Let Nationwide help with our Group Protector Accident medical insurance that provides peace of mind, that keeps the focus on the field. Our policy provides medical expense benefits as well as death and specific loss benefits to all players, coaches, and volunteers. So, pick the coverage level that's right for your group. The Group Protector offers both primary and excess medical plans, so which one is right for your group? So let's take a look. The primary medical plan is ideal for groups with participants generally not covered by other insurance. Typically, the first plan to pay claims after a covered event. Pays covered expenses regardless of other insurance coverage. Payments from other insurance coverages may be reduced as needed. Or it could be an excess medical plan, which is ideal for groups with participants that are generally covered by other insurance. Typically, the last plan to pay claims after a covered event. It will not pay covered expenses to the extent paid by other insurance coverage. Essentially, it pays for other plans' deductibles and their coinsurance. Also, it pays the remaining expenses after benefits exhausted from other plans. The availability of primary and excess plans varies by coverage level. Take a look at the rate sheet for more details. Now, any deductibles for excess coverage must be paid out of pocket and cannot be paid for by other insurance claims. What members of your groups are covered? 100% of all of the following group members are insured: all players, managers, coaches, cheerleaders, officers, official volunteers designated by officers. If an entire league of teams is insured under one policy, the following individuals are also covered: the league umpires and the referees, the official scorers and timers, player agents, safety officers. And so then what activities are covered within that? All scheduled, approved, and supervised league or team activities are covered, including the practices and games for any team league sponsored clinic or all-star events, travel to or from the meeting place for any practice, game, or clinic, trips or tours, fundraising drives, parades, picnics, concession stand operations, care of playing field. What kind of amateur sports teams can be covered? Let's go over a quick list. Soccer, cricket, archery, boxing, basketball, netball, gymnastics, diving. So let's go ahead and see if there's a necessity for you or your league, if you have one in mind, to get together and discuss some of these options that could fit you. Now, let's discuss the medical expense benefit. If, as a result of injury, an insured incurs covered expenses starting within 90 days from the date of the accident causing the injury, we will pay less a deductible, if any, shown in the application, and not to exceed the overall maximum benefit amount. All covered expenses incurred within 3 years from such date. Covered expenses mean the reasonable and customary charges for local, or quote-unquote local, not applicable in a CT contract, professional ambulance services to or from hospital and or surgical center, as well as the following reasonable and customary charges for treatment, services, and supplies provided or prescribed by a doctor. 1. Hospital or surgical center care. 2. Medical treatment. 3. Nursing care provided by a licensed nurse. 4. X-rays and lab exams. 5. Prescription drugs and therapeutic services and supplies. 6. Dental treatment as a result of injury to sound, natural teeth. 7. The following licensed home health care agency services and supplies provided instead of an otherwise required hospital or skilled nursing home confinement. A. Physical, occupational, respiratory, and speech therapy. B. The service of a home health aide. And C. Medical supplies. If excess medical has been elected, we will not pay benefits for, nor can this plan's deductible, if any, be satisfied by covered expenses to the extent that they are collectible under certain other policies and or health plans as stated in the policy. Coverage is provided under the policy form NOGR, I'll show you later. Certain provisions of the policy are summarized in this brochure. All benefits are subject to the policy, which alone constitutes the agreement under which payments are made. Now, in the worst case scenario, this plan does have what we call death and specific loss benefit. If, as a result of injury, an insured dies or suffers a specific loss within 1 year from the date of the accident causing the injury, we will pay a benefit as specified below. The 1 year limit does not apply to the loss of the life benefit in a PA or West Virginia contract. A specific loss, for example, arm or leg, each arm is 75% face amount, leg 75, hand and foot 50%, sight of eye 50%, speech 50%, hearing or ear 25%, thumb and index finger or the same hand another 25%. The total payment for all of the losses of an insured because of any one accident will not be more than the face amount shown in the application. The loss of the thumb and index finger of the same hand benefit will not be paid for if the loss of the hand or arm benefit applies. The loss of the hand or foot benefit will not be paid if the loss of the arm or leg benefit applies. Some of the policy exclusions will not pay benefits for expenses incurred for 1. The examination, prescription, purchase or fitting of eyeglasses, contact lenses, or hearing aids, or 2. The treatment by a person employed or retained by the plan sponsor or its subsidiaries or affiliates, and for which no charge is normally made, or care or treatment by a person who ordinarily lives in the insured's home, or is a parent, grandparent, spouse, brother, sister, or child of either the insured, of the insured spouse, if a New Jersey contract, care, or treatment furnished by a member or the insured's immediate family, or 4. Diathermy, light, shortwave, and other heat or physiotherapy treatment in excess of the first 5 of all such treatments, while the insured is neither hospital confined nor under the care of home health care agency. Nor will we pay benefits for loss or expenses resulting from intentional self-destruction or an attempt at intentional self-inflicted injury, if a MO contract while or sane. Or 6. War or an act of war declared or undeclared. Or air travel unless the insured is a passenger on a regularly scheduled flight of a properly licensed commercial airline. So let's get together and find out if we can help you build a proper sports league and make sure that you have all your bases covered. All right? Thank you so much.